Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today's class is an intermediate power vinyasa flow. We peak in mermaid pose, so we really focus on opening up the hips, getting the energy level up there. We start moving right away. This class has less cueing, so just kind of more physical, fast movement. Peek at me if you need to. I'm going to grab a block because I'm kind of working through a little hamstring injury on this side, so I will probably be using one of those. Grab one if you would like for poses like triangle and some lunges, things like that. And whenever you're ready, we can get started. We begin today in bound angle, opening up the hips already, sitting up nice and tall, pulling yourself closer using peace fingers around big toes, maybe gently finding a sway, really working through the hips already. Lifting back up, releasing the feet, taking the hands behind the head, and gently just letting the chin meet the chest. Letting gravity help you here. We're still sitting up nice and tall, so we're just feeling this in the top of the spine, the cervical spine, in the neck. Lifting back up if we want to cross our legs and come into easy pose. We're going to send the arms out to the sides, palms facing the sides, finding just a slight twist. Just warming up the top of the spine. Feels a little goofy maybe, but that's okay. Ooh, ooh. All right, and gently, when we feel evened out, releasing the hands and taking them behind the back. So interlacing the fingers, pulling the hands down, lifting the heart, spreading through the chest. Big inhale and exhale to gently fold forward, taking the hands over the head. Maybe the forehead rests on the mat. Gently lifting the chest and releasing the hands. They come to the knees for a seated cat-cow. Inhale, lifting the gaze and the chest, and exhale to round through the back. Just taking a few rounds like this. Last one, big deep breath. And then uncrossing the legs, coming onto all fours, spreading through the fingers around the tops of the feet. We're gonna lift, connect to the core and lift the knees about an inch off the mat. Holding here, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't release. Take the right knee into the nose. Tap. Left knee. Tap. One more each side. You can do it. Tap. Tap. And send the hips up. Walk the hands out. Downward facing dog. Pedaling out the backs of the legs. Waking up those calves. Gazing at the hands. Gently walking up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale to rise, hands come above the head, maybe taking a slight back bend here. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a breath, noticing how we feel before we begin this practice. Taking a moment to connect to our breath, knowing that it will stay with us throughout this whole class. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, flat back, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank, taking a vinyasa. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, over the toes. Making our way to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bending the knees, reaching the arms up, chair pose. Sinking into the hips. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right hands above the head, palms meet, taking a slight back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or jump back into plank. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, over the toes, downward facing dog. Taking the right leg, bending the knee, planting it in between the hands, warrior one. Exhale, rain the fingertips down, coming back into plank, chaturanga, and inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, over the toes. Left leg comes up. Then into warrior one, nice and strong. Exhale, rain the fingertips down, taking a vinyasa. Feeling the heat that we are building. Exhale, over the toes. Making our way to the front of the mat, we can bend the knees and walk or jump, float up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, sinking nice and deep into the hips. And exhale, come to standing, hands to heart center. Taking the right leg behind us, coming into a wide-legged forward fold to the side of the mat. Extending the arms out to the sides. Fold over, nice flat back, releasing the hands to the mat. Taking one breath here, trying to reach the forehead to the mat. Nice active in the legs. Lifting the chest up, we bend the right knee, skandasana, side lunge, reaching that left arm overhead. Exhale, holding the hands in front of you. We switch sides. Skandasana to the front of the mat, reaching the right arm up. And coming back into our wide-legged forward fold. Maybe going a little bit deeper this time. Walking the hands over to the right foot, finding a little side body stretch. Through center and over to the left. And we're coming into a warrior two. So turning that left foot to the front of the mat, we raise up nice and strong, checking our heel alignment, pinching shoulder blades together. Extended side angle, reaching the right arm overhead, nice long lines. Deep lunge in that left leg. And extending the left leg, the front leg, coming into triangle. Your version. Holding here for a breath. Spiraling the chest to the sky. And exhale to revolve, replacing that right hand with the left. Peeling the left hand up, finding this beautiful twist. Deep breath. And coming to plant the left hand, framing that left foot, maybe stepping the back foot up. Folding over, maybe lifting the hands behind the back. Nice long breaths. Opening up through the hamstring. Planting the hands, Taking that left leg back to the right, coming into downward facing dog. Lifting the heels, rolling through the back, coming into a high plank. Lowering down, holding here. 5, 4, 3, you're strong. 2, 1. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, over the toes. Walking or jumping up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale to rise, hands come above the head, nice back bend here. And exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna step the left foot back. This time turning the toes out to the corners, coming into goddess pose. Bending the knees, nice and strong. Send the arms out to the sides and we pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up onto the toes, onto the balls of the foot. One foot and then the other. And pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe send the chest forward. And dropping the heels. Placing the hands on both of the knees. We take the right shoulder in and the left shoulder. One more time each side. Woo. Raising back up, coming into warrior 2. On the left side, or on the right side, excuse me. Finding our heel alignment, sinking deep. Reaching that left arm over, extended side angle. Coming into our triangle pose. Peeling that left arm up, sending the hips back. Breathe. Exhale to revolve. Your breath is your friend. And framing that right foot. Taking our side stretch. Maybe lifting the fingertips off the mat. Maybe hands come behind the back. Feeling that fire, maybe feeling the sweat trickle down. Exhale, release the hands, step that left foot up to meet the right, and we come to sit on the sit bones. Extending the feet out in front, toes up to the sky, staff pose, nice and tall, long spine. Taking a breath here. Taking the left foot in to the right thigh, squaring the hips, folding over that right leg. Nice and deep. Inhale to lift the chest, taking that left knee over for a twist. Taking the right elbow to the outside of the knee, gazing behind, still keeping that right foot flexed. Coming back through center, uncrossing the leg, wrapping that left arm around, finding our bind, trying to meet both hands behind the back, folding over, seeing how this feels. Lifting back up, cradling that left leg in, pulling it up, trying to meet the feet, maybe give it a little kiss. Really working through that outer hip, maybe finding a little sway. And we're gonna come into compass pose if this is in your practice, bending that right foot, taking the knee about onto the shoulder, taking the right hand on the ankle, left comes to the mat, and we try to straighten the leg. Breathing nice and deep. This takes a lot of shoulder, side body, and hip flexibility. Just noticing wherever you're at, honoring that. If this hurts or if we can't breathe properly, we've gone a little bit too far, we can always dial it back. Gently releasing. You can always take 8 angle pose here as well. Any other arm balances. Inhaling back to staff pose and taking the right leg into the left thigh, forward fold. Our breath is a little bit slower at this point. Inhale back up, finding our twist. Reaching up through the crown of the head, nice and tall. And coming back around to take our bind. Lifting up the chest and then trying to fold a little bit forward, noticing those sensations. And then cradling that right leg, preparing for our compass pose, working through the hip. If we feel stuck with our mobility, and check out maybe some more mobility exercises. I have a class or 2 on those. I will link them for you. Coming into our compass, bending that left leg, taking our time. Control, taking our time, not forcing anything. See how this one goes. This one doesn't feel too bad. This is my injured leg, so I am not going as far as I normally would. If your leg is here, that's totally fine, wherever we are. Breathing. And gently release, coming back to face the front of the mat. In the middle of the mat, bound angle, soles of the feet together. Inhale, nice long spine. And exhale, lean back, boat pose. Extend the legs, extend the arms. Connect to your core, suck the navel into the spine. You got this, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release back into bound angle. Taking a breath here. Reaching the fingertips forward. Exhale, come back in, extend the legs. Maybe grab onto the big toes with peace fingers. Try to open the legs so we have space here in the hips. We're balancing, using our core. And gently, we can release, bending the knees, taking the feet to the mat. Arms come underneath the knees, and we try to fold forward, extending the legs as far as feels good, keeping a flat back in this weird little turtle pose. Taking 2 deep breaths. And gently releasing, coming to lie on the forearms, coming into fish pose, dropping the head back, reaching the chest up. Taking this moment of rest before lifting back up. Using our core, hands are on the mat. We press, lift back, press out the feet, lift back. 5 more of these. 4, 3, 2, you got this. 1, you can plant the feet, rock onto them, press up, coming into our Melasana Squat. hands come to heart center. Deep breaths. Using the elbows to open up through the hips a little bit more. Pelvis is sent down through the mat. Exhale, straighten the legs. Walk the hands out to the front of the mat. We're in downward facing dog. Lifting the heels, 1, 2, 3. Bending the knees and hopping or jumping up to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale to rise, hands come above the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump back. So bend the knees, bend the elbows, jump back into high plank, and take a vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog. Where we lift the right leg, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open, stacking the hips. Exhale, back to three-legged dog. Taking the right leg in, planting in between the hands, coming into low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms above the head and back behind. Sinking deep into that hip. Lifting up the back toes and reaching back for the ankle, pulling it into the hips. Maybe using both hands. Really working that quadricep. Gently release, framing the foot, coming back into three-legged dog. And bringing knee to nose, crunch, three-legged dog. Knee to nose, crunch, three-legged dog. And coming into half pigeon, dropping that right shin. Finding what feels good here. Lifting the chest, pressing the pelvis into the mat, squaring off the hips. Forward fold, coming to lie on the forearms, sleeping pigeon, maybe finding a little rock. Lifting up the chest, revolving, taking that right hand, reaching back for the foot. Then coming around and coming into our mermaid or king pigeon, whatever you would like to take. Whatever is accessible to you and feels good in your practice today. Maybe we try king pigeon and we're not there. Just seeing where we're at. If we have to dial back, that's always an option. Gently release wherever we're at, framing the foot, coming back, three-legged dog, and releasing that right leg, lifting the left, opening, stacking the hips. Exhale, three-legged dog. Bringing it all the way in, low lunge. Inhale, release the hands above the head and behind, finding a back bend. Sinking deep into that hip, opening up through the hip flexor, the psoas. Nice deep breaths. And kicking up that back heel. Finding our quadricep stretch. Exhale to release, framing the foot, coming back into three-legged dog, and crunching knee to nose, three-legged dog, crunch, three-legged dog, crunch, last time, three-legged dog, coming into our pigeon. Big inhale and exhale, coming down onto the forearms, maybe coming onto the forehead. Raising the chest, finding our revolve, reaching that left arm back towards the foot. Still active in the legs. And coming back through center, finding our mermaid or king pigeon. Maybe we play around with these today, explore what options feel good. Noticing, whoa, totally slipped. Noticing especially the difference in both sides. Like this one, not very accessible to me today. And that's okay. I gently release and I take that left leg back, three-legged dog. Releasing it back, downward facing dog, coming onto the knees, rolling the hands back, sinking the hips into child's pose. Forehead's on the mat. Finding a little rock here, a little forehead massage. And gently lifting the chest back up, sitting on the heels. Reaching the arms out wide. Inhale. Palms come together, they kiss at the top of the head. Exhale to heart center. Noticing how we feel here, maybe closing the eyes. Noticing the difference before our practice and after. We can take any little movements here that feel good. If we need to get a little side body stretch or maybe a little shoulder stretch, whatever our body's calling for in this moment. We can stay here seated, or we can gently find corpse pose, shavasana. Whatever feels comfortable to you, wherever we can release, relax. Come back to our breath. The sensations of the breath moving through the body. The sensation of being supported by the mat. Just knowing that we're here resting, that we have nothing else left to do in this moment. Just reveling in how good we feel. Moving around the energy, creating that fire. Gaining strength, maybe exploring, noticing whatever came up for us today, and finding a few moments of stillness. And gently coming back to the body, maybe gently rolling the neck side to side. wiggling the fingers or toes. We can find our way to a comfortable seated position. Blink the eyes open if we have them closed. Take one final breath together, one big inhale, and exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this fun, minimal Cuing Vinyasa class. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit that subscribe button to never miss more daily yoga with Paige. Thank you for joining me today, sharing your practice, your energy. I look forward to practicing with you again. I will see you on the mat soon. Namaste.